They laughed at him for smelling like garlic and living in a small apartment above a laundromat. They mocked the pizza guy who could barely afford rent, but none of them knew that one late-night delivery to a mansion would change everything. Because that night, the man they dismissed as nobody would save someone's life and unknowingly open the door to his own redemption. Liam Harris pulled his beat-up Honda Civic into the long, winding driveway of the Kensington estate. The car coughed as if begging to rest, its paint fading under the cold Ontario night. His shift at Big Tony's Pizza was nearly over, but the last order had come in just before closing, a large Supreme with extra cheese and garlic crust. The kind of order rich people made without thinking about the guy who had to deliver it in the snow. He grabbed the pizza bag, adjusted his uniform cap, and walked up the marble steps. Through the massive glass doors, he could see laughter and glitter, people dressed in tuxedos and gowns. He took a deep breath and rang the bell. When the door opened, a young man in a designer suit wrinkled his nose. "You took forever," he scoffed. "Guess they'll hire anyone these days." Liam forced a polite smile. "Traffic was bad, sir. Enjoy your meal." He handed the box over, but another woman nearby giggled. "A single dad delivering pizza? How sad." Her words sliced deeper than she knew. He left without responding, though his chest burned with humiliation. They didn't know about Emily, his 7-year-old daughter who waited up every night to share a slice with him. They didn't know about the late bills, the overtime, or the promise he made to his late wife that he had never let their little girl go hungry. As he reached his car, something made him pause. A faint cry, a voice from behind the mansion. He turned, instinctively moving toward it, unaware that what waited beyond that hedged garden would change his life forever. Behind the mansion, near a frozen pond, lay an elderly woman in a satin shawl, her leg twisted awkwardly. She was trembling, her breath fogging in the icy air. "Help, please," she whispered. Liam dropped his pizza bag and rushed to her side. "Don't move, ma'am. I've got you," he said, taking off his jacket and wrapping it around her shoulders. She looked up at him, her silver hair glistening in the moonlight. "I slipped trying to take a walk," she said softly. "My son's throwing that awful party. No one noticed." Her voice broke. Liam called 911, staying with her, speaking gently to keep her awake. When the ambulance arrived, the paramedics thanked him. "You saved her from hypothermia," one said. "Good timing." As the vehicle drove away, the young man from earlier stepped outside, confusion on his face. "What happened?" he demanded. Liam just shook his head. "Your grandmother's okay. She fell out back. The medics have her now." The man stared blankly, embarrassed. "Wait, you helped her?" "Yeah," Liam replied simply. "It's what anyone would do." Then he turned back to his car. He didn't see the woman in the back of the ambulance watching him through the frosted window, memorizing the face of the man who didn't hesitate to help her when her own family had failed. 2 days later, the pizzeria phone rang. "Liam Harris?" asked a crisp female voice. "This is Margaret Kensington. You helped my mother the other night. She's been asking about you." Liam froze. He had no idea his late-night rescue was noticed. Yes, ma'am. I just did what anyone would do." "Still," she said warmly, "we'd like to thank you properly. Could you stop by tomorrow morning?" He hesitated. He couldn't imagine walking back into that mansion, but something in her tone, genuine gratitude, convinced him. "All right, I'll come by." The next morning, he wore his cleanest shirt, one Emily had ironed for him. As he stepped into the mansion, the same hall that once echoed with laughter and mockery now felt quiet. Margaret greeted him with a smile. "My mother says you're her hero." Then an elderly voice called out, "That's him, my brave pizza man." The old woman, Eleanor Kensington, reached out to him with a trembling hand. "You didn't walk away when others would have." That says more about you than any title or fortune. Liam blushed. I just wanted to help. She chuckled softly. And that's why you're different. Eleanor insisted he stay for tea. Emily sat quietly on the couch, holding her worn teddy bear, her eyes wide as she looked at the lavish chandeliers and gold-trimmed walls. Eleanor noticed. "And who's this young lady?" she asked with a twinkle. "My daughter, Emily," Liam replied. "She's my world." Eleanor's eyes softened. "You're raising her alone?" He nodded. "Since her mother passed, it's just us. I work nights delivering pizza, but we manage." The old woman listened quietly. "You must be proud." Margaret entered, setting down a tray of scones. "My mother rarely warms up to anyone," she said with a smile, "but she can't stop talking about you." Eleanor laughed. "Maybe it's because I've seen enough people with money and no heart. You, young man, have both humility and kindness, a rare combination." That day, for the first time in years, Liam felt seen. Not for what he lacked, but for who he was. Weeks passed, and Eleanor invited Liam and Emily often. Emily became like a granddaughter to her, baking cookies, painting, and sharing stories. "You remind me of my own son when he was small," Eleanor said once, watching Emily giggle. Meanwhile, Margaret learned more about Liam's struggles. "You were an engineer before this?" she asked. Liam nodded. "Yeah, but after my wife died, I couldn't keep up. Bills, childcares, it got too hard. I took whatever job I could." Margaret frowned. "That's not failure. That's survival." Her words stayed with him. For the first time, Liam began to believe he could rebuild. But not everyone was pleased. At the next family gathering, Margaret's brother, the same man who had mocked Liam, sneered. "What's the pizza guy doing here again?" Eleanor glared. "He saved my life, Charles. The least you can do is show respect." Charles rolled his eyes. "Please, you're acting like he's some saint." Liam quietly excused himself, but Eleanor followed him to the door. "Don't mind him," she said softly. "People like that think money defines worth. Don't ever let it define yours." Liam smiled gratefully. "Thank you, ma'am. I won't." One evening, Margaret called Liam with unexpected news. "My mother wants to set up a scholarship for single parents, in your name." Liam's eyes widened. "In my name?" "Yes. She says she wants to help others like you, hardworking people who never give up." Liam felt his throat tighten. "I don't know what to say." "Just say you'll accept it," Margaret replied warmly, "because you deserve it." Eleanor's health began to decline that winter. She refused to stay in the hospital, preferring her home filled with laughter and warmth. Liam and Emily visited daily, reading to her, telling jokes, bringing her favorite pastries. One night, she took Liam's hand. "Promise me something," she whispered. "When the world makes you feel small, remember, kindness is never wasted." Tears filled his eyes. "I promise." She passed away peacefully a week later, leaving behind a handwritten letter addressed to him. At the reading of her will, the lawyer cleared his throat. "To Mr. Liam Harris, the man who reminded me what decency looks like, I leave $250,000 to start a small business and provide for his daughter." The room fell silent. Charles's jaw dropped. "You're kidding," he hissed. The lawyer shook his head. "It's all legal." Liam sat frozen. She didn't have to do that," he murmured. Margaret smiled through tears. "She wanted to. She said you restored her faith in people." With Eleanor's gift, Liam opened Harris Family Pizzeria, a small, cozy shop in downtown Toronto. Its walls were decorated with photos of Eleanor, Emily, and handwritten thank you notes from customers. On opening day, Margaret stopped by. "You did it," she said proudly. Liam smiled. "We did it. Her kindness built this place." Emily ran up, holding a pizza slice. We even have Grandma Eleanor's favorite flavor. Margaret laughed. She'd love that. Business grew fast. Locals adored Liam S.'s story, the single dad who once delivered pizza now running his own shop. But success didn't change him. He still made deliveries himself sometimes, saying, "It reminds me where I started." One snowy night, he delivered to a small apartment where a young mom opened the door, embarrassed. "I'm sorry I don't have enough cash. My card declined." Liam smiled gently. "It's on the house." She burst into tears. "You have no idea how much that means." Liam just said, "I do, actually." Emily grew fast, smart, kind, and confident. One day at school, she told her class about her dad. "He's my hero," she said proudly. "He helps everyone, not just because he can, but because he wants to." Her teacher later told Liam, "You're raising her well. She sees the world through compassion. That's rare." Liam just smiled. "That's all I ever wanted." Charles, humbled by his mother's decision, visited the shop months later. "I owe you an apology," he said quietly. "I judged you without knowing your story." Liam extended his hand. "It's okay. We all learn eventually." For the first time, Charles smiled sincerely. "Maybe I can help you expand? I've got business connections." Liam hesitated, then nodded. "Sure, if we do it for the right reasons." Years passed. Harris Family Pizzeria became a local legend. It sponsored community events, funded single-parent scholarships, and offered free meals on holidays. Margaret often visited, watching the laughter and warmth that filled the place. "You've built something special," she told Liam. "Eleanor would be proud." He looked around, at his daughter serving customers, at the photo of Eleanor smiling from the wall, and felt peace. On the anniversary of Eleanor's passing, Liam closed the shop early. He took Emily to her favorite park overlooking the lake. The sky was painted orange and pink. "She changed our lives, didn't she, Dad?" Emily asked softly. Liam nodded. "Yes, sweetheart. She showed us that the smallest kindness can echo forever." As they stood there, wind brushing their faces, Liam realized something profound. He had been mocked, humiliated, and underestimated. But those moments had led him here, to love, to purpose, and to a life built not on wealth but on heart. And somewhere, he hoped Eleanor was watching, smiling at the man she once called her hero. That night, as Liam locked up his shop, he noticed a young delivery driver waiting outside, shivering. "First day?" Liam asked. The boy nodded nervously. "Yeah, everyone laughs at me, says I'll never be more than this." Liam handed him a warm slice of pizza. "Don't listen to them," he said with a knowing smile. "One day, one delivery might just change your whole life." And as the boy smiled back, the city lights reflected in Liam S.'s eyes, proof that even the smallest act of goodness can rewrite destiny.